Well, greetings, guys. Hello. Welcome. Thanks for tuning back in. I'm ImperialJedi, and this, of course, is the city of Rockwood, which we haven't seen in a few days, and, I'm aware of that, unfortunately. But yes, episode number 17, finally coming back out. I'm over my whole thing, and we are back on the warpath. I'm in a much better mood, and content will be flowing aplenty. And I do realize I kind of said something along the same lines at the end of the last episode, and kind of building up to 2017 in general, but, real life stuff kind of sometimes get in the way. But yeah, we are back in business. So yeah, let's have some fun here. Okay, so I actually have been doing a little bit of off-camera building just to kind of get the momentum for this episode rolling. I actually have a really cool thing planned for us. So let me show you just some of the things I did off-camera. Really quickly, I just moved these out of the way. They're kind of temporary. And you can see, obviously, big difference with the water pollution. Because we had still just like the other type of sewage pipes going as well, which was not really the most efficient thing. But yeah, there's still, a little bit of water pollution. This, I kind of want to just hide like way off camera somewhere. So we'll still address that later. This just buys us just the littlest amount of time, you can see, because we're just like slightly, ever so slightly ahead of the curve right there. But yeah, it looks kind of cool with the key wall. Anyway, that is that. And then as far as changes go, just over here, you guys probably noticed that bridge. I'll talk about that in a second. Over here, I did kind of find that it was a little bit too high density. So I put in a plaza and this little pedestrian kind of walkway in between, just kind of move some of the apartment buildings out of the way. Might do a few more of those kind of things here and there. And I think I need to reconnect some of the pathways over here. But yeah, for this spot, I was just kind of staring at the city. I'm such a strange person. Maybe you guys do the same thing with your own cities, but what I'll sometimes do is, like, when I'm eating dinner or something, I'll just kind of just watch the city. Like, I don't know, I just have that urge sometimes. I'm just really curious, and I love, like, in real life, I'm very much so like a people watcher. So I just kind of enjoy just, parking down on the bench and just kind of sitting back and watching things go by. And, this game offers, like, plenty of eye candy for that. So this whole area, I decided to rework, because I was noticing that a lot of the vehicle traffic was just getting pretty bogged down. Specifically the lineup of trams. So what I did is, if you're a car and you want to get to this road, I've got this avenue here is kind of like a little way over, and a lot of pedestrians are using this too, which is great. So the I think the tram stops actually getting a lot more use. This was just a one-way road leaving before, but yeah, no. So the trams go up and over this intersection because they don't really need to go here anyway, right? And pedestrians can basically access that through here, so it's not like it's that far off. But this gets the trams in and out faster, which I think encourages more people to use public transit anyway, so I feel like that's kind of a win in itself. And then this thing right here, I kind of redid it, so it's more kind of sort of this weird roundabout kind of thing, I guess. But it also presents an opportunity for trams and everything to do turnaround points. It doesn't really matter what direction they're coming in, so I like that aspect. And it's kind of cool with traffic, and I don't think, in terms of like the way the traffic light's set up, I don't think we'll run into problems. I just don't necessarily know if this is designed for like really high volume, so we'll keep an eye on it, see how things kind of unfold. And then I did a quick little rework to oh goodness, where was it? Oh yes, right over here. Same with this. I was kind of on a tram kind of overhaul. So previously this kind of dipped down a little bit, just because you can kind of see the way the terrain is, and then it immediately went up to the bridge, and I just didn't really like that all that much. So I moved the stop over to here and just kind of brought this as a bridge right out of the intersection. And I actually didn't realize it before, but we were actually a little bit crooked. So I just kind of fixed that and then added a little curve to kind of offset the fact that we're crooked. And I think that's just a little bit nicer, a little S-bend. So I was basically shortening that little bit there. And then just for the romance and just the sheer beauty of it, I added the day-night cycle just for this episode. And I also added weather too, because I really love just watching thunderstorms at night. Honestly, I'll just get like takeout and just sit there, just have this open, put on some music or something, and just watch the city. And yeah, it's nice. Okay, so for this episode, what I really want to do is this is a really cool idea. So I remember the last episodes we've been talking a little bit about natural disasters, and I did kind of want to have them just running in the background, maybe not on like the highest frequency, but just to maybe mix things up a little bit. But what I thought would be super cool would be to kind of put the rest of the natural disaster items in, and just maybe make a unique area for one of them. So I've already gone in and I've just put a bit of the infrastructure in. This bridge took me like forever to do, so that's why I did this off camera. And I think it's pretty cool. It took me like a long time to get these slopes to kind of work, but what I want to do is more or less treat this 6-lane road here as kind of like an in-town expressway. Because on these big roads like this, you actually get a higher speed limit, which is pretty cool. And so we won't really be doing too much zoning, and the fact that it's elevated through here, obviously we can't zone, but we'll try to cut back on intersections and stuff, just like cars pretty much cruise. But over here, I've extended the hill, and I've got the high-tech building pack purchased through the Steam store, and that gives you these nifty buildings right here. So we get like, television station, but specifically we get a space shuttle. So I was thinking we could put that up here in the hills, because that could just be like all kinds of awesome. And then we could use that in tandem with the deep space radar, because that could look like really, really wicked on the hill here. And I don't know if we're going to be able to do it, or if we maybe have already. Let me just look before I start making assumptions here. Abandoned buildings, oh my goodness. Not impossible to do, but I would like to try and unlock the observatory. What I think we could do is, it's gonna be so barbaric. When we get the city to maybe a bigger size than this, we can just sever power to, like, I don't know, the sewage or something, and just have everybody move out. We'll have to have a lot of money saved up for this. And then theoretically, everyone will move out, the buildings become abandoned, we unlock our observatory, restore power, and then restore order, and then we can put the observatory up here as well. So you guys can just let me know your thoughts on that, because there's some things are easier to unlock than others, and it's still my intention to use the Eiffel Tower, but it's like we have to do so much more industrial zoning. So I'm just kind of taking a little bit of a scenic look at the city right here. It's actually been a while since we've seen it at night. And oh my, it's so big. So I did a bit more zoning down here just to fill this area in. But I just love the different colors from like the different lights and different buildings and everything, and the roads, how they have like different street lights as well. Oh, I'm just taken away sometimes with this game. Okay, so without getting too distracted, let's try and do a little bit of construction at night, but it might not be the easiest thing to accomplish. But basically what I'm envisioning over here is maybe, I wouldn't necessarily say like somewhere to live, but it would be cool to have like a small little section of houses nearby. And I mean, obviously, like a space launch would be like the loudest thing imaginable, so there wouldn't really be too many people close to that in real life. But I don't know. I've actually never placed the asset down, so I don't even know what it's going to look like. And this is romantic and fun. I actually think we need the sun. We'll turn off the weather too, but we can always come back to that later on. Okay, so what I'd like is a support road to basically leave this and just maybe follow some of the contours going up this hill. Maybe just have like a slalom, and then up here we can flatten some stuff out, have our little launch site. But like maybe, down in here or something, we can just create a new suburb as well. And then at the same time, we'll just kind of go through with the city and place the rest of these. Get a little network going finally. All right, well, let's maybe go for a bit of a wider road. We'll use an avenue. Just kind of start us off like this. And then, yeah, we'll just take the long way around. I think we just went downhill a little bit, which may be counterproductive to the narrative, but as long as we get there eventually. Oh, it's not so bad, but you can see what I mean, how this kind of goes back downhill. Perhaps we can have another road that kind of clips through like that, but let's get the general shape in here first. I think for this side, we'll maybe make that a bit steeper. I think that is possibly a little too steep. I don't know, though. That's kind of on the border. I don't think a bicyclist would want to do that, though. The other option would be, of course, to do like a partial tunnel or just terraform. But I'm always a fan of doing these little half tunnel creations. But for the life of me, I can never get them just to look the way I want them to right off the get-go. Well, that's okay. That's actually quite nice. All right, yeah, so up here, and I've been reading a lot of the comments too. I've had a few of you mention that I'm very peculiar when it comes to how I use the landscaping tools, which is very, very true. I'm very much like doing like a little Wild West, my own approach kind of thing. But I've also had a few requests for doing like a little tutorial video just on some terraforming, so I'll probably do something like that. But my approach, it is a little bit different than the way most people do it. And I've been told I don't even use the controls the right way, but I mean, my general logic, or at least just kind of go over things really quickly, is like, you know, obviously this, you know, like raises, lowers terrain, but what I'll end up doing instead of continually doing that is I'll click on this one right here to slope terrain. When you right click, that'll lock in the terrain height, and then when you left click, it'll just quickly expand so that you're on a level plateau. So it's just, I don't know, I feel like this is taking 1 or 2 steps out of the whole process, and then to get rid of it, you know, just right click here to get that as your slope, and then, or that as your height, and you're left with that, which is kind of plateaued, and then you can smooth it out. Use different sizes of your brush, of course, and I don't know, I think it looks nice. So maybe not the best approach, I don't know, but kind of works for me. Okay, so this is more or less a bit flatter now. And then what I think I'd like is just, I guess, one road going inbound. Make sure this doesn't line up too poorly. And it'd be cool to have like a parking lot or something. And we do want to have room for some growth later on. So if we do get, say, the observatory unlocked, which I think we can do. It doesn't really seem like it's that difficult. Especially if we have a really big city. So maybe just one parking lot. And I'm always a fan of having just like 1 or 2 administrative buildings. And then at the same time, it's kind of cool because you get just like the littlest amount of traffic. So it kind of makes the area feel a bit real, because there would be people driving up here if they worked here. Maybe a little bit of commercial too. Otherwise, yeah, let's just see what this looks like. I have a feeling that we're gonna have to extend something. Yeah, this is a pretty big asset, which is great. So I'm just kind of going back to my Wild West approach here. So I'm just gonna extend this out basically, and it's cool because we have the road already in place. So like we're gonna get this like nice little kind of cliffing kind of shelf effect going next to it. And then, you know, just for like a visual sake, if you want just to make this look kind of interesting, you can always do these rocks right on the slope or whatever. You lose the trees, but then you get, if you don't basically like the way the dirt looks. I'm just kind of going all over the place here, giving you guys options, but sharing is caring, right? And these ones overlap well. So if you want just like that kind of look, which is kind of cool too. Okay, so we'll extend that. It could just be that the angle might not be right because of how little space we're actually getting out of this, but we'll see if this fits and then I can stop. No. Okay, so let's just lose the one rock here. That's not the end of the world. We'll go out like that now. I'm gonna pause because we haven't brought in our sewage. Don't want these people to move out. And I want to be cautious not to connect to this line here, because that one is a closed loop just for the waterfalls here. So we want to have a separate, yeah, kind of a separate thing. So that is achieved. Great. And oh, good. This fits now. Oh, that looks so cool. Oh, that's awesome. I like the asset with the smoke and everything there too. Man, that would look so nice at night. Hopefully there's like some floodlights and stuff. What? It's so cool with the waterfall and stuff. Okay, that's great. All right, so let's just drop down a few more things over here. But theoretically, we would have yeah, the observatory on that side. We could have our radar dish be also over there. So why don't we try something like this? I think we'll terraform first. And I just realized we're actually running a negative budget right now. I don't know what that's all about. We'd be messing around with too much stuff, probably. Okay, so goodness gracious me, how big is this building? Oh, well, hello, this does fit here. Cool. That's actually like super, super cool. I would like to get a parking lot in here, but I don't think we're going to be able to. Oh my goodness gracious me. Well, never say never. So, I'm hoping that it won't look too deformed. Yeah, let's be honest, who's going to park here? That's really scary. A more effective use of this space would be having a parking lot, I think, come kind of like on that angle. And then if we get rid of the overall size of this. I don't know. Oh, wait. Yeah, there we go. That's much better. Cool. And then maybe just for a visual sake, I don't know if that's going to work or not. A little bit odd, but maybe some people will walk on that. There. Not as... I don't know. That seems too crazy talk. Alright, well that we're for sure doing. I don't think there's any room here to zone. There is not. That's fine by me. And then the edge of this, because I don't want it to look too sharp and jagged, let's try for some more terraforming like that. And we can smooth things out. But I want to go with that kind of rock approach that we were doing on the other side. Where we just use like a few of these. But I don't want to do too many, because then we end up losing all of our lovely trees. Actually, I don't think I like that one. I think even just that, maybe the minimalistic approach here is better. That's so cool, though. Alright, well, I'm happy with this. And then as far as this goes, I think we have room now for one more parking lot, so why don't we sneak that in? That's just really cool. And then maybe just one more. You know, like launch control and stuff would be nearby, right? Hypothetically. All right, so this area definitely not finished, but just for the moment, let's just kind of leave that just the way it is for this little stretch, which is cool. And then let's connect this road over here so we have two ways in. And then I'm gonna put some services just close by so that just in case there's like a fire or something, we don't have to worry about this place burning down. So we can drop a fire station up there, and we can have a police station just on the ground or something down here. If we don't already have one. Not really close by, but... that works for me. Because you can see, like, I mean, crime in the city, it's almost non-existent. Even though we don't have full coverage, which is... means our people are well-educated, and they know the difference of right and wrong, like that kind of stuff, so... schools, I think we're fine. I know we're just a little bit under capacity, but same with that. I'm not really stressing about that. Okay, so let's put in the rest of our natural disasters buildings. And then if we have some more time, we'll just do some residential zoning, but it's pretty cool. A little bit of a simple approach to the area, but I think it's neat. And then as far as some of the other cool buildings go, like we got a television station. There's some of these like research kind of things. We can make like a little high-tech kind of facility, because like robotic stuff would be kind of cool up here too. Actually, yeah, theoretically we can extend this whole thing and make this like a high-tech kind of wing around this little mountain. Oh, that sounds fun. All right, well, let's not get too distracted, because our poor natural disasters, they keep getting pushed back and back and back. So I did say I wanted to put in a tall radio mast, because we didn't actually find a good spot for one, so our poor city doesn't have full coverage. And these things, they work really well, just in and around interchanges and stuff where you really wouldn't do too much zoning anyway. And then they just need that source of power. That's pretty much it. You can always place this here for the moment, just until we get a little bit further out. That's cool. And then we could even have another one of these in the on the hillside. What am I looking for here, of course? So we can have a few of these up here. Awesome. Make it seem like it ties a little bit more into this. And then just, there we go. Add to our wind farm. Awesome. Okay, I think we have achieved, almost full city coverage. Let's just drop one more of these over here. And then if you're looking for that aesthetic look, I think I've probably mentioned this before, but of course, just bring out a little dirt road, and where are we going? Yeah, of course, over here. So we can even come from the highway if we wanted to. And like, completely not necessary, but if you were going for that little bit of realism, that extra little bit, you would basically have something like this. Otherwise, how else would you come for maintenance? I mean, the real answer to that, of course, we come by helicopter, but just if you're going for that extra little bit, I think that kind of makes the whole city as a whole feel, feel more real. But to each their own. Okay. So we've now got essentially full city coverage. Maybe not the best over here. And I guess it's because of the hills, or I don't know, maybe just coverage isn't strong enough, but you'd expect there actually to be coverage over here. Either way. Just drop that down on the edge of this park. Actually, on an angle looks kind of fun. Because where I live in Toronto, there's tons of these in and around the city. And, I mean, they might look intrusive, but at the same time, they help with, like, cell phone communication and that kind of stuff. So, very vital. And, of course, radio frequencies, too. So, not uncommon to see little towers in and around your city. I like that. Kind of nice. All right. So, we now have citywide coverage. So, anyone will basically get the message when the alarm is sounded. We should now put in the things that we're going to be sounding the alarm for. So like earthquake sensors obviously detect earthquakes and they'll notify us for that. And then these I like to hide just kind of underneath like bridges and stuff, just so they're more or less out of the way. But if you were looking to make them part of the landscape, not impossible to do that at all, because they have a pretty cool look to them. It seems, or it makes them, they have a resemblance of like a little utility box. So you can just theoretically have these in and around your parks and stuff. Just, a little bit more realism. That's basically the whole goal of all that, right? If you wanted to place those multiple times. And it's also where you, natural disasters is where you get these extra buildings here, like the freshwater outflow pipe and your reservoirs and then your pumping service. And that'll clean up after a flood. And a few comments come in and questions come in about that. Okay. And then the boys, we can put a couple of these in. And then these are just going to measure a really quick increase or decrease in water height. So if like an incoming tsunami is on its way, we'll get a notification for that. Awesome. Maybe there's one more over here. And then some buildings you can only place once, like the the weather radar. When you put that down near the helicopters, we can't place that again, basically. All right, now as far as the disaster shelters go, these are going to be like obviously where the people are going to go when you sound the disaster alarm. So you're going to want to have pretty good coverage throughout your city when you're placing them. So let's just drop down a few just so we can kind of see the coverage zone. So that's not too bad. And then from each one, you can actually have an evacuation route. And this will be for a bus that comes out and picks up people. So you can actually extend the range of your disaster shelters. So hypothetically, in the case of an emergency, we would want our disaster shelter just to make a little sweep through here, visit near the transit hub, because we would of course have like tons and tons and tons of tourists and maybe people who are not necessarily, they don't live over here, but they're just in this part of the city because the transit hub would have brought them here. So we're gonna want to pick them up and bring them to the hub. We don't need to worry too many about having too many stops over here, just because of people. It'd be easier for them to walk, right? So there's just that. You don't even have to do a bus route if you don't want to. We find that to be a little bit time consuming. And of course, these cost money to place, so don't necessarily put one on each block, because that cost will definitely add up. But not the end of the world to have a few here and there. I think your budget can support it. And then same idea, we can just drop a few of these down. And this is just to help extend the range, but totally whatever you want. You can have them fall back on themselves. I just do a really simple loop just so that we get a bit of extra coverage. But this is just, simplicity first type thing. There we go. And then don't be afraid to drop a few little ones here and there too to kind of fill in the cracks. But I mean, you don't necessarily have to get like 100% full coverage, but just, you know, do your best. And then when you're using the routes for the bus, that's kind of how you get the extra spots. But little ones like that work well in like little districts like this, basically. I think you kind of get the idea, so let's just drop down a few more of these, just so we get some decent coverage. And we'll have one at school. I don't want to destroy too many buildings, but I guess it's inevitable. And we have the stadium nearby too, but I think we might actually need a second one. There, oops. That works over there for me. And then, you know what we can do, actually, is we can drop down a disaster right now, just so you guys can kind of hear what the advanced warning system and stuff sounds like. It's actually pretty cool and pretty creepy at the same time. And I think we have enough helicopters and stuff in place that we should be able to deal with really like any like actual like fire and fallout from a disaster. So it'll be a good test of our wits and a good test of our city's ability to to fight natural disasters. Oh, but which one were you going to choose, I wonder? So let me just put down just one more of these. I don't necessarily think we're going to send people to the disaster shelters, because when you do that, essentially all productivity in your city stops and your budget just like completely plummets. So, I mean, not that you can plan for it, but just, you know, have like a rainy day fund. Always try and be saving. Don't necessarily be running paycheck to paycheck here. Slightly above break even. Okay. So our city, looking fantastic. We pretty much have good coverage. I know we didn't do evacuation routes with the rest of those new shelters, but I think that's okay. And then if you wanted to just trigger some disasters on your own, they'd just be over here in your landscaping tools. And yeah, here we go. Here's the list. So for this, I think we're going to add the day and night, because this is kind of fun. So we'll add some weather. And I do intend to save the city after, so I don't necessarily want to destroy the whole place. I'm not going to drop like 100 meteors or anything like that, but you know what we could do is just start kind of simple. Maybe we can have a oh, what are we missing on over here? Not enough food. Oh, you know what? I think, oh, of course. Poorly placed because there's no way into it. I have it like too far back, I guess. Sorry guys, 1 second, a little sidetracked here. I'm just gonna put that there. Maybe not the best location, but you can still access it. You're just gonna have to be a little creative. And that's got a way in, got the way out. Okay, yeah, we're okay. Okay, so let's start with a lightning storm. And what's really crazy...
Meteorologists are issuing a thunderstorm warning for the coming days. Citizens are advised to stay indoors.
What's really crazy is wherever there's a lightning strike, that's going to cause a fire. So if it hits the trees or hits buildings, so we're going to get lots of fire starting from that. And it's kind of cool when you have the lightning storms at night. And just, I mean, for crazy's sake, I mean, let's try something bonkers here. Let's go for a tsunami. I want stuff that's relatively easy to come back from. I really don't want to destroy the whole city. But I don't mind like a few fires here and there. Speaking of which, oh, is our storm starting? Oh yeah.
A thunderstorm is battering the city.
Here we go.
Stay indoors until the storm has passed.
I'll put out a 3-speed. Well, actually, maybe it's a little bit too fast. So we should now start seeing a whole bunch of fires popping up. Yep, there's their one over there. Oh boy, oh boy. Some more of these tall buildings getting hit. But things get very out of control very quickly. And with the lightning storms, they can strike your power lines, and you might not even notice it, so it like causes like total chaos, and you gotta try and find which one's a broken one and repair it. So be on the lookout. And then disasters in general, sometimes they'll affect your roads, like if you're doing like earthquakes and that kind of stuff, so you can only get to certain areas by helicopter. Like, really, this is a pretty easy disaster for us to deal with. I think most of the fires are already out, and it's raining too, which I think actually helps the cause. But, oh goodness gracious me. It's so tempting to just do a big disaster, but like not save. Oh, speaking of which, see, that's what I mean. We lost one of our power lines. Okay, so where's our power connection? Where do we... Okay, so it looks like we're severed down here. Not that that really made that much of a difference, but... And then our main break... I don't even know where our... Oh, here they are. Ha 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 ha. There we go. And then I'm positive we had another set of of power lines, but... For the life of me, I can't remember where those would have been. Okay, so that's that. Perfect. That is that. These I don't really think we need to have connected. It doesn't really matter that much. And it would be nice to maybe connect this, because I have a little bit of like that tidal generator. Might be able to benefit from that. Trying to bring power lines through here without creating too much of a disaster headache thing. I don't know about that. I swear there was another way we had this connected. This is becoming a little bit silly having this many, but if it works, it works. And we still have this tsunami coming too. I haven't forgotten about that, guys. Just in case you were wondering. And that'll pack a big punch. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to get so distracted by this. I actually thought it'd be a lot easier to get the city back in order from that. But you can see all the fire started from all the lightning strikes. So this is a big strain on our resources. Our communications tower over here got hit. So when this gets put out, or if it doesn't get put out in time, we'll have to replace it. But these kind of things can only be put out by helicopter because there's no road access. So goodness gracious me. And then maybe we can see the tsunami. Is it anywhere? No, not yet. Put that on 3 speed. It just might be that maybe we're too far inland for a tsunami to even affect us. That could be the case here. But yeah, so what I'll do, guys, is for next episode, we can just have... oh, here comes the tsunami in the background over there. We can have the natural disaster turned on, but the frequency, like, have it like super low, so we don't have to worry about our city getting destroyed. But it just adds, I think, yeah, a little bit extra challenge to the whole game. And then we'll just kind of roll with the punches here. So if we get a big earthquake and it destroys something, then then it happens. And we see some terraforming to fix stuff, then that also happens too. All right, well, let's sneak a peek over here, see what this looks like again. Now this is all high and dry. I like this. It's kind of cool. Nice additions to the city. So yeah, I don't think really have the time anymore to do the little mini suburb that we had planned for this. But at least we got the natural disaster stuff out of the way, and we got to see, even though it wasn't like the craziest one, we got to see one. But you know what we could do maybe for next episode is before we really do any big construction or something, or maybe towards the end of the episode, we can save the game. And then we can just test out some disasters, blow the city up just for fun or something, but then not save it. So we don't have to have a heart attack and try to fix stuff. But yeah, I feel like the tsunami kind of fizzled. It just seems like it's too far and not like a big enough body of water to travel on. But yeah, I think we'll wrap things up here, guys. So thanks for hanging out with me. Great to be back finally. don't lose my voice, of course, towards the end of the episode, of course. But yeah, yeah. So it's been good. Like much needed break. So I do appreciate the patience in between content, guys, or in between episodes and everything. But we're back on the Warhouse or Warhorse. Can't even speak here. So yeah, expect things to be 2017. It's like our year to take over the internet together. Like I love our community. It's great that we're growing still every single day, and you guys are just great. Like I want to be able to make more content more often for you. So I really hope I get the opportunity to do that. All right, guys, I look forward to reading the comments. Again, great to be back, and I will see you in the next episode, which won't be out too long from now. All right, guys, take care of yourselves. Have a great day, and happy 2017 if I haven't spoken to you already yet. Adios, my friends.